What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So I went live the other day, and one of the main topics that everybody wanted to talk about is what's happening with Israel, what's going on in the Middle East. And I had said that I really didn't want to touch it because YouTube tends to not like when I talk about that type of stuff. However, as I'm seeing, it's still a huge concern to a lot of people, myself included. And in no way am I an expert, obviously, at this stuff. But I have an opinion. And during the live, a lot of people were asking me about my opinion. And so let's get into it. Now, one of the things that I talked about on the live and I want to talk about here, and I want it to be, again, I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion. I want to make sure that everyone knows, everyone is warning their family and their loved ones. Is this slow or what? That Hamas has a track record of sending, I don't want to say the name of them, but sending people that wear explosive devices into crowded places. It's a tactic that Hamas has used for a long time. Now, this attack that happened on Israel, guaranteed, was not months in planning and developing. It was at least a year to plan that. It's not something that they just decided. And we have a border that is extremely porous, meaning supposedly there's been millions during this presidency. There's been millions of people who have come across the border. I believe they've caught around 70 people that were on a terror list. Now, if we're talking about millions of people that came through and 70 were found, 70 were apprehended, then we know that number is at least 5 times greater than that, right? That got through, I would guess. And we know that during this time that this migration, we'll say, has been happening, Hamas was planning. And it is only it's only right to assume that during their planning, they were sending their people through this porous ass border. And with us now sending a carrier and sending warships to the Middle East in support of Israel, as we should, believe that Hamas has their cells over here ready to do what they got to do. So I would say, and it's going to affect our economy, obviously, but concerts, movie theaters, malls, these are places where people are going to have to be extremely vigilant. We don't want to turn around and make it to where people start bashing people because they're a certain ethnicity or they're from a certain area. We can't do that, right? But we need to be like, do you need to go to the mall today? Do you need to go to the movie theater today? Until this thing blows over, which it may not blow over for a while, we need to be more aware of where we go and who's around us. Now, how did we get into this mess, man? How did this happen? A lot of people are turning to the Bible, saying it's biblical. This has to happen. And they're probably right? But putting religion to the side, we need to, and I don't care what your political beliefs are, let's deal with the facts. When President Trump was in office, it wasn't reported on the way it would have been had it been Clinton or Obama or somebody else. But Peace treaties were signed in the Middle East, something that had been tried for decades and decades and decades, and it was a failure for every presidency. There was no peace in the Middle East. Under Trump, there was. Things were signed. Things stopped happening, right? And then we get an administration that is extremely weak, who has damaged our economy and made it very weak. If we remember, those of us old enough, and if you're not old enough, you can Google it. You can YouTube it. We fought a proxy war against the Soviet Union using Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, all of those people to fight against the Soviet Union. We armed them. We trained them. CIA was with them. And what we were doing is this country was just bleeding the Soviet Union. They knew that the Soviet Union economically would not be able to sustain 10, 15, 20 years of just being bled out. Well, we gave all these organizations the blueprint. A weak administration, a stumbling economy, they're going to want to make us bleed. We have so much stuff going on here where instead of looking at the reality around us and the facts around us, people are still in their feelings about a political party. Fuck a political party, man. If you love this country, if you want to have a better place for your children, then we're going to have to sustain what we're going to have to deal with what we're going through. And in the next presidential election, I hope people really sit down and look at what the hell has happened. The threat to this nation is extremely great. People are saying that, and I believe this, and this is going back to biblical stuff, religion, right? That, nobody knows when that time is going to come, where the end is going to arrive, right? Nobody knows that exact time. But what we do know is that the Bible says that before it happens, every kingdom of man will fall. A kingdom can be translated into government. And when we look at the types of government that have existed, the last one to fall would be capitalism, right? Our democracy. If we fall, who else falls? Pretty much everybody, right? It's not going to be immediate, but it would be the fall of pretty much the last kingdom. So we have a responsibility. I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I do not like this inflation. I do not like the cost of living going up, gas prices going up, every damn thing going up, but your wages. I don't like that this thing happened because Hamas fell. America's weak. I bet you the next ones to make a move are going to be China on Taiwan. United States is stretched too thin. If that happens, what are we supposed to do? And this is why people are worried about World War III, because we know China's next. China's going to be like, man, this president, this administration, they have so many problems at home. What are they going to do militarily over here? But again, I'm one of those people, and I preach it all the time. A man should never worry about that which he cannot control. We can't control what they're doing over there. But I wanted to just remind people that Hamas has a history. And so we have to be extremely vigilant. Again, do you need to go to the mall today? Do you need to go watch that movie at the theater? Do you need to go where there's going to be crowds? Yeah, middle America, you guys might be a little better off. It's harder to find big crowds, but New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego. These are places that I'm sure they feel, at the least, send some people. And when America starts flexing and helping an ally, as they should, they're going to do what they feel is right. And I want to say this. You guys know I do not watch the news. I do not watch movies. Because of what's going on, excuse me, I'm seeing a lot of it on social media. And I saw where they were saying that those people went in and they did horrible things to babies. And I don't want to be cynical. I really hope that didn't happen. I really do. I don't want to be cynical, but my immediate thought was, how do you inflame a people to want to fight? How do you inflame a people to have them justify within their heart and mind that this is worth it? You talk about atrocities to their women and children, and you bring it up to the allies of those people. So, again, I hope that didn't happen. I wouldn't put it past them. But I hope it didn't happen. Who knows what's going to happen in these next few weeks and months? But we need to be very vigilant. I'm going to keep saying that. I think things are going to maybe escalate fast. Israel doesn't play. But I don't think, who knows? Maybe Iran is going to use Hamas as a proxy and leave it as, the way the United States is using Ukraine to fight against Russia. It's a proxy war. But Israel is not going to sit back. Israel is going to start lighting some stuff up. If they think someone's involved, they will hit something. They have a history of it. And that's when things can get out of hand very fast. So I'll go ahead. Let me see. 12 minutes. You guys know for me that's a long time. But I wanted to put this out there because, like I said, when I went live the other day, a lot of people were asking about it. A lot of people wanted me to give my opinion. A lot of people are nervous, and everyone should be. We can't forget that Israel is a nuclear state. And I honestly believe that once one nation pushes that button, others are going to follow suit. And that's when there's nothing we can do about it, right? So, again, the things that you can do to keep yourself and your family safe, focus on that. The things that are happening outside your control, pay attention to it, but do not worry and stress. Just understand that's out of your hands. With that said, everybody please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.